Hi everyone, hope you are all keeping really well. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So I know it has been a couple of weeks since I last posted on YouTube. I have got to be honest, I went through I think around about like a 2-week period of just I couldn't get no sort of like ideas of what I wanted to do on YouTube, and I've got to be honest, I genuinely felt really quite stuck on what to film. So I kind of thought, let me just take just a little bit of a 2-week break and I'll come back with something that I do in my sort of like everyday life. And then I thought if I bring that to YouTube, then that will bring me lots of like different ideas and just get my mind sort of like flowing again. So as you can see from the title, I am bringing you like my slow morning routine, clean sort of like aesthetic sort of morning, which I do every single morning. And the reasons why I really like a slow morning is just because if you don't know out there, then I am actually doing content creating as a full-time job now. And this is something I think I've explained in other YouTube videos in the past, but I have wanted to do social media and content creating for so long, and I just had loads of people sort of like in my head, as in like, you know, don't do it, it's a waste of time, things like that. And I'm not going to go into it too much, but I actually sort of like listened to them and I actually believed them. Up until I kind of thought, I don't know what it was, I sort of had that switch where I'm going to just do it. So yes, here I am. And yeah, so the reasons why I love slow mornings so much is because in my previous job, I was, you know, quite high in retail, and my gosh, my mornings were very stressful. They were very rushed around. I was in work for like 7 AM sometimes. I hadn't got much sleep the night before, and it was just like it was really draining me to the point where, you know, don't get me wrong, I can take a lot of stuff, and that even broke me to the point where I physically needed just like a week off, just like a week off from absolutely everybody. And that's when I sort of like incorporated my slow mornings, because I started to look at life like a little bit more differently, as in it might sound really weird, but there's times where when I was sort of like going through that, where I wanted just like a little bit of peace, I would sit in my French doors just here, and I'll just stand out there with a cup of coffee, and I'll just be looking at the outside world. I'll be looking at the sky, I'll be looking at the trees. Whereas when I used to get up early in the morning, I either used to drive to work or used to get the train, I didn't look at any of those things, and I was just like so focused just like on my phone and rotors and stores and work and things. I hadn't taken notice of the things that are around me, like nature and things like that. So I really take pride in my slow mornings now. I always get up like at a certain time. Like I get up at like 6 AM, which is a lovely time for me, because even though like it's summertime, I can hear the birds outside, and it's quite soothing. And because I do YouTube and other things as basically I work from home and work for myself as a full-time job, I don't start work until 9 AM. So I work from 9 AM up until 5 PM. But just really focusing on the mornings, I have then got from 6 AM till 9 AM to set myself up literally ready for the day. So you know, I get up like really slow, and I just make my morning coffee, which I'm starting to take pride and joy in just by making a cup of coffee. So as you can see, I do have the Nespresso coffee machine, which I absolutely love. So I will actually link it all down below for you as well, because I just love that coffee machine so much. And I don't know what it is. I feel like the older that you get, you just want to just take pride in things a lot more. And I think for me, it's just by just having a cup of coffee in the morning and just slow making my bed and slowly getting ready. And I don't know, and then it's like when it comes at 9 AM, I'm sat at my desk or my dining table, I'm literally ready to go, I'm not stressed, I'm fully focused, I don't overwhelm myself with jobs, and I actually get a lot of stuff done from 9 AM up until 5 PM. So for me, a successful morning always starts with my rituals. Now, I understand everybody has a very different, starts to the morning, but this is for me from when I used to rush around having breakfast, probably literally eating breakfast as I get out the door, and drinking, I'd say I was drinking probably around about 5 cups of coffee a day, which I know is really bad for you, just for me to just try and get through the day, and skipping skincare. But don't worry, that has literally all changed now, which I'm so thankful about. And so my literal morning rituals is always a cup of coffee, and I get to enjoy that just whilst making my bed and getting my clothes out for the day, setting up my desk. So that is a really nice morning ritual for me, having a cup of coffee at 6:30 in the morning. Whereas sometimes in my previous job, I was on a train at 6:30 in the morning, and I had probably about 4 hours sleep, and it was just doing me no good. So I'm immensely proud of myself for taking myself away from a very toxic situation. I have longed for years and years and years just to live a very peaceful life, because I don't want to go into it too much, but when I was younger, it was very, very stressful. I went through an awful lot, and now living a peaceful life, and don't get me wrong, it's hard work. I don't want people to think, oh, she left the job and now she's living a peaceful life. It wasn't like that. Me as a person, I had to physically change, I had to mentally change, I had to take myself away from situations. It got very lonely at times, so I really had to do that, and I am immensely proud of myself, of how far I've come. So one other thing that I have recently got into is actually journaling. I actually enjoy sitting down and writing in my journal book. It just brings and for me, obviously, it's sort of like a diary in a way. For me, it's very personal. If I, have a bit of a stressful moment, it's not very often I get that stressed anymore, which is very weird for me, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's just times where, a bad moment comes into my head and I just write it down. And because I'm writing it down, it just takes everything out of me. And I kind of think, I've wrote that down. It's now in the past. Now I flick a page and then it says, what's your goals for this week? What's your goals for the next month? 12 months, 24 months, things like that. So that's when I turn a negative into a positive. I will see if I can try and link my journal book, but if not, I'll try and find something similar. So I feel like obviously journaling and, talking about your feelings and, figuring out what you want for the future, I feel like it's all about having a very strong mindset. So don't get me wrong, a few years ago, I had a terrible mindset. It was full of negativity and just stress, and I had a lot of people's problems on me, and it was I wasn't able to sort of speak out or say what I was feeling. So now all of that is now gone. I'm very much focused on my mindset. Thankfully now, don't get me wrong, it took me years actually to get to this place all about mindset. Because I know so many people talk about it. I feel like it is so important to actually talk about it, because I know when people have gone through, I understand people go through so many different situations and every single person is different, but I do definitely believe you physically and you mentally can change your life. And don't get me wrong, it's going to get lonely. It got severely lonely for me, but it was one of the best things I ever did. And I was very strong on mindset, you know, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And you know, I do believe in manifestations, if I'm honest. A lot of things that I've manifested has happened, or, you know, I'm starting to see signs and things like that it is obviously happening. But yeah, but I think about definitely having a very strong mindset is definitely a purpose of life, and I feel like you do definitely need to really have that. But I understand, you know, when you're going through very rough situations, it is very, very hard. But if you just have just that one little bit of positive mindset, you have got no idea how much of a strong woman, man you are. And yeah, mindset has definitely got me through some tricky times. Okay, so that actually brings us to the end of this video. I really hope you have enjoyed this. It's something that is definitely me, and I loved creating this, and it's just something that I do every day, and it brings me so much peace and joy and happiness, because yeah, a couple of years ago I was a completely different woman. I was stressed out to anything. So I truly believe, you know, if you are in a very toxic job and you don't like it, please jump into social media, because all you'll need is literally just invest in a camera. If you've got a camera, great, just start, you know, vlogging, get yourself a tripod. The one that I've got is £20 from Amazon. Actually, I will try and link it if I can. £20 from Amazon. If you haven't got a camera, don't worry, just use your phone and just start creating Instagram, TikToks, drinking coffee, whatever, and it will completely change your life. So that's when you will start living the life you've always wanted to live. And trust me, I am slowly getting there. I can see the vision, and it's looking very, very bright. But so this is like a little bit of motivation for you all. You know, if you don't like it, please just get out, because life is going by very, very quickly. And life is too short to work for a toxic manager or workplace or whatever. Work for yourself, and it will completely change your life, I promise you. So thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope you have enjoyed watching it. If you give me a follow over on my social media platforms, which I will just put here for you as well, which I do put things on there daily. I do post every single day as well, so it'd be lovely if you could give me a follow on there. Also hit subscribe to this channel as well. I am trying to post, I'm posting every Sunday, but yeah, I'm posting every Sunday, because I was going to say I'll try and do it twice a week, but I haven't got time to do it twice a week. But yeah, I'll be posting every Sunday at 7 PM, so make sure you do keep a lookout for that. And I shall see you all in my next video. Bye bye.